Well, we're so glad today to be joined by Alaska's Governor Mike Dunleavy on a very important day. Governor, you and I are both married. We married well above our station. And anniversaries in a relationship are a big deal. And today and this week, congratulations, you have a whole week of your 1 year anniversary as governor of the state of Alaska. You came in which there was a lot of change and tumult economically in the state of Alaska. Oil prices dropped almost within days of you taking office. And yet in the first half of this year, despite all of the noise, despite all of the concern, the economy has remained strong and indeed has improved. What are some of your takeaways economically, especially your first year as governor of Alaska?
Well, I think the economic news is good news. The economy's headed in the right direction. We're out of recession. Our job numbers are up. Our unemployment numbers are down. GDP is up last 2 quarters, significantly, as a matter of fact. Personal income is up. Investment is up in the state of Alaska. So I think from the economy point of view, we're headed in the right direction. I think people want to get a job. They can get a job here in Alaska. We still want to improve our economy. We still want to get more investment. But I think it's safe to say that the state's out of recession. The economy's doing pretty good. It's in the right direction. We just want to make it last, and we want to get more jobs going for people.
You know, you've had an opportunity to talk with industry leaders in the lower 48, globally, and recently you traveled to Japan. And I think a common denominator of all of those trips is people are very excited about the opportunity to invest in the state of Alaska, whether it's the airport, opportunity of expansion of the rail system, the North Slope, timber. Is it your opinion that we get sort of wrapped up in our own noise politically, where the rest of the world, much like Wall Street vis-a-vis Washington, D.C., sees a lot of opportunity and still wants to invest here?
Yeah, I think we do. I think sometimes some of us tend towards the negative when it comes to the economic situation in Alaska and Alaska's prospects in general. I would say this, Dave, that our location on the globe is going to serve Alaska well. Our resources are going to serve Alaska well. The demand in, especially the Pacific Rim, China is growing, Vietnam is growing, Korea is growing. It's going to serve Alaska really well. The fact that wealth has been created in the lower 48 and worldwide over the last 10, 15 years, and that wealth is looking for a place to invest and go, is going to serve Alaska well. And so, you know, what we say to people now, especially with our economic development team that is out talking to investors, is Alaska is America and so much more. Meaning we have American jurisprudence, American law, we are America. But in many respects, we're like an emerging economy. We're a resource state, not a lot of infrastructure, large land mass. We'd be the 17th largest country in the world. And we have all these resources. And we're located ideally on the Pacific Rim. We are the furthest western state, furthest northern state, and as I often say, furthest eastern state. We are thousands of miles closer to Asia than any other state. So I think Alaska's time, we've had 40 years of strong oil production. We're going to have decades more with these new finds. But I think our location is going to serve us well. You're seeing investment at the international airport. I think you're going to see investment in some of our other resource sectors. Our rare earths are going to become a real mecca, I think, for investment, given that the push for renewables and batteries, et cetera, I think Alaska is going to fare well over the next several decades if we market ourselves in the right way.
You have been a consistent proponent of criminal justice reform and providing safe streets for Alaskans to walk on, safe homes and safe communities. Nationally and habitually, the state of Alaska has led the league in some categories that frustrate you and I.
Right.
You've spoken about this consistently when you were a state senator. You were elected governor, and one of the cornerstones of your campaign was the repeal and reformation of SB 91.
Right.
You're a year into it now. Commissioner Price and you traveled recently to Sitka for what I would say was an impressive graduation ceremony, a full class. But there's still some work to be done in regards to public safety and criminal justice reform, isn't there?
There is. There's a lot of work to be done. So that was that is a primary goal of this administration, is public safety. I mean, in essence, that's what governments are about, is to protect people. And Alaska, unfortunately, has had its issues with domestic abuse, sexual assault, other forms of violence, and we're going to do everything we can to put an end to that. And to that end, we're putting resources into our state troopers. We're going to be putting resources into our court system, our Department of Law, corrections. We are going to put money into the other aspects of law enforcement too, the recidivism issues and reentry issues for those that have served their time, and substance abuse issues and retraining of people. We're going to go at this from a number of different perspectives, but in the end, I am determined to make Alaska a safer place for our kids, for our women, for our elders, for everybody. And I think we're on the right track. And as you mentioned, SB 91 was repealed, HB 49 was put in place, but we have a lot to do. But again, this is another aspect of where Alaska is pointed in the right direction.
You know, not everything is money, but everything is money. And one of the things that this administration has been focusing on is a better way to work with reduced resources from the private sector, taxes, fees, whatever, for folks who may not really fully be informed, for example, of your conversations with the university system and the work that the Department of Administration has been doing. Everybody runs on, we're going to eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse, but you and members of your cabinet have actually worked on specific areas of doing that. How important is it to you, as you're tasked with reinventing how government governs in the state, to do things more efficiently and at a lower price point?
Well, we don't have the revenue we once did, and Alaskans demand efficiency in government before we go and take their PFD or we tax them. But also Alaskans demand, and they should demand, better outcomes in our educational system, better outcomes in our public safety, better outcomes in our university, better outcomes across the board, and we can get there. Alaskans are a terrific people. Alaska's a great place, and personally, I think we have a terrific university that, through our discussions over the last several months, is going to be even a better university. I worked for the University of Alaska. I got my master's from the University of Alaska. 2 of my kids go to the University of Alaska. I support the University of Alaska, but like a lot of other systems, the university, our educational systems, we've really focused more on the inputs, how much money we could put into the system, and less on the outputs. Does that mean the university's been doing a poor job? No, I think the university's been doing a good job. I think it could do a great job. And since we're in this period of time with less resources, I have to commend them. I think they've taken the bull by the horns, and they're going to do a great job with this. Our K-12 educational system, we have to demand better outcomes. We're going to be working on some reading initiatives. Some tribal compacting. We're going to make sure that all the kids are proficient in algebra by the time they leave 8th grade. We are working with the communities that have a deal with the ferry system to try and make that more efficient and more sustainable for those communities in Southeast and South Central Alaska and going out to the Aleutians. So we're looking at all of our systems. We need to have them become more efficient, but we also need to get the outcomes. And we need to do this, unfortunately, with less revenue at this time.
A lot of Alaskans have different views on the role of the permanent fund dividend. The Alaska Supreme Court ruled, I believe it was last year or maybe even prior, that we have a couple of statutes that apply to the same thing, which I would argue hasn't done anyone any favors on tracking a path forward. You've been very consistent in your view as to what the role of the permanent fund is and the dividend as part of Alaskans' sort of share in production and acts as a backstop to the growth of the size of government. How would you view the efforts of the administration in 2019, and what would you like to see in working with the legislature going forward in 2020?
Well, the permanent fund, as I say, is the one issue in Alaska that divides and unites us. We all know what the permanent fund is. We're the only state in the country that really has one that you can talk about. When somebody says to an Alaskan, what's the permanent fund, we can rattle it off. We could talk about the permanent fund and the PFD. So the permanent fund and PFD are many things to many different people. We saved money back in 1976. We constitutionalized the permanent fund so we could save oil money for future generations. The PFD program came into place in 1981. And for the purpose of sharing some of that wealth. But also some people believe that by sharing some of that wealth with Alaskans, it would help keep government somewhat in check by not allowing unfettered spending of a new revenue source. Today, this may be the time that we have to tap into the fund. We started to tap into the fund last year and the year before. But we have to settle the issue of the PFD. What do we want the PFD to look like going forward? Is government going to take most of the PFD? are the people going to take most of the PFD? Are we going to have an equitable split between government and the people? This is the question that has to be answered. And until we can get that question answered, it's going to hold Alaska back, I believe. So I'm hoping that this year, Dave, is the year that all Alaskans can come together and we can settle the question of the PFD going forward. And it's my hope that we have a PFD, a robust PFD that the people of Alaska can support, and that at the same time allows some money to go into government to help pay for our government and our bills.
Well, Governor, I appreciate our time, and guess what? We're going to have more of these conversations in the future. You thought by taking me off the air we wouldn't chat anymore. Now we work together. So I'm looking forward to more of these conversations along with thousands of Alaskans as well. Congratulations on your 1-year anniversary. And now we have to get back to work, don't we?
You know, Dave, you're more than just a good guy. You're more than just a radio guy. Now you might be a TV guy too.
Folks, thanks for watching. We'll check in with you next time.